Okay, so in the second part, the focus group, Tegan, would you like to tell me a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah, I had participants that was from Blackburn with Darwin, and we had a set of points of discussion on the agenda which was handed out to them, where we discussed the topic. Then a video was played of poor housing to really try and challenge the existing perceptions of existing views and attitudes. And then we revisited the points of discussion to see if it had changed any of the perceptions and attitudes towards poor housing.
And how do you feel that one?
I think it really challenged people's ideas and perceptions, and there was a real focus on Blackburn with Darwin and housing. And in the first part of the focus group, people thought that poor housing was mainly council dwellings, whereas through the video they saw different images of different types of housing, which then changed the perceptions after, because they wasn't aware of that, and they wasn't also aware of how high a statistic of poor housing there is within Blackburn with Darwin.
Right. Okay. And could you, in terms of the video influencing their opinions, how do you know that it had this effect? How could you tell that it was having this?
From the answers they gave, they said they were quite shocked after they'd seen the video of how bad poor housing actually affects families and children.
There's an element of body language as well that was observed, and kind of the shock that we demonstrated through the responses that we were given as well.
Yeah.
And these are people, like you say, who are from Blackburn with Darwin.
Yeah. And they didn't realise how close to home it was, and that Blackburn with Darwin's percentage of unfit dwellings was so high. So I think that really come across in the focus group.
If I can ask Vicky the question, in terms of students doing written pieces of work, have students written similar kind of things in the past?
No, I think this has been quite a unique way of doing research. I've never seen anything like this before.
But in terms of, say, writing about poverty within Blackburn or things like that?
Yeah, we wrote about poverty.
Yeah.
Obviously yours has had an element of poverty within it, but it's been like real focus on poor housing.
Right.
Tends to be when students write about poverty, they're not actually focusing it upon a specific area, so it's been nice to see something that's been massively relevant to the community. And yeah, to certainly challenge perceptions and understandings of what poor housing is.
So from your experience, the video had more power than a conventional piece of writing?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the images on there, statistics, and the combination of music as well was really quite, shocking. It produced some sort of emotional response in those participants that maybe the discussion hadn't. It was making it real, real to the community that they're from as well.
So the music, Tegan, how did you decide?
Well, I started off not having a clue really, because obviously there's so much music out there. I went onto YouTube and had a look at various types of music, just play things over and over, and then I finally settled on, I used Mad World by I think it's Gary Jules. I don't know if he's the original, but that's the one I used. But yeah, just playing over and over again, just listening to a wide range of songs until I found one that I felt fit with my research.
And in terms of getting music into your video through Movie Maker, how hard or easy was that?
Actually putting the music onto it wasn't that hard, but making your video fit to the length of the music I found quite tricky, having to cut it down and having putting pieces of the statistics or pieces of writing that I was putting onto the video, getting it to fit where it sounded right with the music. I tried to do that, so I found that quite tricky, but I think it turned out really well, and it really worked in the end.
Did you use any kind of editing software or anything like that with chopping?
I chopped clips down, not music. I just used the whole song. I didn't chop any of the music down, but video clips I've chopped parts of the video clips down to fit into the.
How do you do that? What
well,
do you use?
You upload the picture and then it comes like, I think it's like 7 seconds worth of slide, and then you can like chop seconds off it. So that's what I did to make it fit
Okay.
into how I wanted it to fit with the music.
Interesting. So, in terms of your future benefit, do you think this project that you've done might be of benefit to yourself personally?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's made me aware of the different kind of programs you can use out there, and that it isn't just always black and white and in writing. You can use different methods to get across your ideas and your points of view. It's given me a bit more understanding of how to use digital literacy, and my ICT skills. It's improved them greatly by using a different program that I've never used before.
And what about yourself, Vicky? Do you think that the video could be used for future students?
Yeah, I think we've definitely got something to work with, not just for dissertation, but maybe for childhood culture and society, and showing students what they've produced as an assessed piece of work for a presentation, for example. Yeah, I think it could really take off for other students. I think it could be a fantastic example for us to learn from.
All right. Okay. So final question. So now you've got it, do you intend to do anything with it? In terms of, it's going to be on YouTube. Are you going to try and publish it or promote it through other social networks, or?
Definitely. I think it's a really good way to raise awareness of the issues black women with Darwin and across the country are facing, to do with poverty and poor housing in particular, and just make people aware of the problems we are facing, and hopefully that other people will think, well, can I make a difference, can I help? So just raising awareness really, so that people know about the issues we are facing, because I think that's a big problem that definitely come across in the focus group, that people weren't aware of how big of an issue it was in our own community. And so I think raising those issues for people will really help them to maybe think about it, and maybe they can make a difference.
And from the point of view of the students, would you recommend next year's students on the early childhood studies degree? Would you recommend that they take this kind of option as part of their assessment?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been kind of like a real eye opener, and it's added innovation to my work. So it's been fun as well. So definitely recommend it.
I think we're going to hopefully use it on the Facebook page for UCD, so and show other students, what else you can do, as opposed to the bog standard essay presentation. So it's something that we can certainly promote.
Yeah, and also from Community Challenge perspective, as soon as it's on YouTube, we'll retweet it and try and get as many of our students to see it through Twitter as well. So thank you very much, Tegan.
Thank you.